Okay, so we're going to continue on with work in our workbook, page 9, and we're talking about gerunds, right? Verbs plus gerunds. And now we're on number 4, right? Number 4, complete the questions. Then write answers. Use the information in exercise 3. All right, so we're going to be using this information here. We will be using these words in the word bank. First one is done for us. Does Antonio like going out? So we took the verb phrase go out and we turned it into a gerund phrase, going out with his friends. B, the answer is yes, he does. I'm going to keep going down, and hopefully you can take some time to pause this video and write down your answers. So we're going to turn the word be into a gerund, the word read into a gerund, and the word do into a gerund. So take some time to pause the video and do that. I'm going to keep going now, and I'm going to show you what I have. All right? So, for number 2, does he hate, so the word is be. So I said being. Does he hate being alone? My answer, my answer was yes, he does. He does hate being alone. Number 3, does he mind, and then the verb is read. So the gerund is reading. Does he mind reading a textbook? My answer is no, he doesn't. Number 4, does he like, the verb is do, so the gerund is doing. Does he like doing homework? My answer was no, he doesn't. So these were my answers to the questions, and then my statements at the end. And hopefully we have synced up. All right. All right, so number 5 is write yes or no questions, and you can do that on your own. I'm not including that in this review, but we can. I think we've done enough gerunds that you can confidently do those on your own. All right. What we're going to do now is we're going to go on and go on to lesson C. All right. So let's move on to lesson C. Alright, so now we're going to move on to lesson C in our workbooks for ESL level 3. Alright. Now before we do that, let's jump into what we're going to be learning and what we're actually going to be reviewing here. And that's going to be comparisons. Alright. So on page 10 of the student book, right? Page 10 in Unit 1, all right, we're going to refresh ourselves, refresh our minds, and focus on comparisons. So when we use comparisons, we talk about more than, or less than, and as much as, okay? We can use more than or less than to compare two things that we like in different amounts. All right, so we use more than and less than to compare two things. We can use as much as to talk about two things that we like the same amount. All right, so I like oranges more than I like apples, right? Or I like apples less than I like oranges. right? So that means I like, so if I like oranges and grapefruits the same amount, right? That means I like oranges as much as I like grapefruits. Okay? So let's look at our statements. I enjoy walking more than driving. Okay? She likes cooking less than eating. They enjoy singing as much as dancing. Okay? So let's go over these statements again. I enjoy walking more than driving. That means I like to walk more than I like to drive. Makes sense. She likes cooking less than eating, which means she likes to eat, but she doesn't like to cook. They enjoy singing as much as dancing. So they like to sing and dance the same amount. Okay? If you get a chance, you can scan this barcode here. This is also in your books. And you can watch a video that will explain this in a little bit more detail. All right? It'll explain comparisons in more detail. But now that we know what comparisons are, right, and how to use them, we use them with more than, less than, and as much as, right, because we're comparing two different things, right? Let's practice this. Let's use this in some examples. All right. So let's see it into our workbook, right, on page 10. So if we turn in our workbooks to page 10, we have lesson C. Read the paragraph, then complete the chart. All right, so let's read the paragraph. Angelina likes socializing with her friends as much as playing sports. She likes dancing more than cooking. She likes watching movies less than cooking, but she likes reading less than watching movies. Okay, so luckily here we have a graph that'll help us to understand exactly what she likes and what she doesn't like, what she likes more than and what she likes less than, and what she likes just as much. Okay, so here's our shaded graph, our pie chart, okay, and it's broken into 6 sections for the 6 things that she either likes more than or less than, right, or as much as. So the number 1 is done for us, playing sports. All right, so she likes playing sports a lot, all right. And then number 4 is cooking. So she kind of likes cooking a lot too, but maybe it's like the 3rd thing on her list, because we have something like playing sports, and then we have something here that's just as equal, right, to playing sports. And then we have something that's number 3 that's pretty big too, right? Something that she likes. And then 4th on her list is cooking. All right. So let's put in let's put in what she likes and what she likes more than and less than into our pie chart based on what we see here. All right. So Angelina likes socializing with her friends as much as playing sports. So something that is as much as playing sports is this one. So for number 2, I put socializing with friends. She likes dancing more than cooking. Well, we know that cooking is here, and she likes dancing more than. So this one right here, this section right here, is bigger than this one. So I put, for number 3, I put dancing. This one, the next sentence, she likes watching movies less than cooking. So here's cooking, and she likes watching movies less than cooking. This one, number 5, is less than this section of the pie chart. So for number 5, I put watching movies. And then the one that's left is she likes reading less than watching movies. So reading is less than watching movies. So 6 for me was reading. Okay? So this is what I put in for mine. Hopefully we got the same thing. And that's a good way that we can use more than, less than, as much as. Okay? Let's move on to number 2. For number 2, it's write sentences about Angelina. And we're going to base this on the pie chart, right, that we just used for this one. So the first one is done for us. Cooking. That's our gerund. Cooking. Watching movies. Less than. Okay. Their example is Angelina likes watching movies less than cooking. Okay, so we had to use less than, and we had to say cooking and watching movies. So we know that from our pie graph here, right, that watching movies, she likes watching movies less than cooking, right? Or we could say she likes cooking more than watching movies. Let's try this one. Watching movies, reading. More than. Okay, so she likes reading more than watching movies, right? So now let's take some time and complete the rest of these on your own. Okay, now that you have a good understanding of what they're asking for here, let's pause the video and continue on from 2 to 5. All right? And then we'll come back and we'll move on. Okay, so hopefully you've had some time to complete these using more than, less than, more than, and as much as. All right? If you have any problems with these, let me know and we'll go over them together during our Zoom call, or I can see what you have and comment on it from WhatsApp. All right? So page 11, right? Now we have number 3. Complete the sentences about the people in the pictures. Use more than. So we're going to just use more than for these examples. So we have 4 sets of pictures, right? And this one, playing instrument, right? So looking at this, I don't think she's very happy playing the violin, right? But she looks happy painting. So I would say she likes painting more than playing the violin or playing an instrument. Picture number 2, this guy doesn't look happy to be in traffic, but he looks happy riding his bike to work, right? So using more than, I would say he likes riding a bicycle more than driving a car. Okay, number 3. She looks happy in her hammock, right? Reading a book, drinking some lemonade. She looks happy here. She does not look happy with all these dishes that she has to do. And then her hammock is in the background kind of laughing at her because it has the smile there. So it's laughing at her. Yeah, you got to do work. Anyway, so I would say she likes reading more than washing the dishes. Okay? And then number 4. Here we have Annie and Steve, right? So they don't look happy here shopping, but they do look happy going to the movies. So I would say they like going to the movies more than shopping. Alright? So when I fill this in down here, these are my answers. Ling likes painting more than playing an instrument. Frank enjoys riding his bicycle more than driving in traffic. Susanna enjoys reading more than washing the dishes. And then number 4, Annie and Steve like going to the movies more than shopping. Okay, so that's what I got for that. Hopefully you got the same. Alright, so now let's move on. Okay, so now we're going to move on to Lesson D. Alright, Lesson D, Ventures3. So, let's turn our workbooks over to page 12. Page 12, number 1. Look at the pictures. Predict the job that each ad will describe. Read and write, then listen. Okay? So, we have here 3 ads, and it looks like these ads are for jobs. 3 different jobs. The first job is done for us. It says architect. Let's read what the ad says. Are you creative? Do you like imagining things? Do you love making things? Do you enjoy thinking about, do you enjoy thinking of new ideas? We are looking for creative people to join our team of architects. Help us design exciting new homes. Your future is with us. The job is architect. Number 2. Are you intellectual? Do you enjoy solving difficult problems? Do you like working alone more than working in a group? Yes? Then you are the right person for us. We need computer programmers to help create new computers for the future. Here I put the job as computer programmers or computer programmer. That would be job, right? Not jobs. So the singular would be computer programmer. The third ad. Are you friendly and outgoing? Do you like talking with people and helping others? Do you enjoy meeting people and finding out about them? If your answer is yes, then teaching is the job for you. Come and join our friendly team of teachers. Apply today. And for this one, I put down teachers or teacher, right? Singular is job, the singular is teacher. Okay? I've also put this barcode here, blown it up a little bit, so you can scan it to see, to listen to each one of these descriptions, and so you can follow along and hopefully understand them. So these were my answers. Okay, let's move on down the page to number 2. Read the ads in exercise 1. Write the best job for each person. So the first one is done for us. Phil is creative, so he would probably fit the architect job description, right? Beverly is intellectual, So I said that she would probably fit the computer programmer job description. Sarah is outgoing. I wrote down she would probably fit the teacher job description. Michael likes working alone. For Michael, I put down computer programmer. Computer programmers like working alone. Elena enjoys meeting new people. For that one, I put teacher. Do you enjoy meeting people? And then the last one is Julio. Julio loves imagining new ideas. For that one, I put architect. Making things. So those are my answers. Hopefully we got the same answers. If not, then let's definitely talk about those. Okay. Let's turn the page and go to page 13. Match the jobs with the activities. Use the information from the ads in exercise 1. Okay, but before we do that, let's look at our word bank here. So these are phrases that we can that we have to put and match up with these job descriptions. So let's talk about these and let's go over them before we move on. So the first one is design new homes. Design new homes. Find answers to problems. Find answers to problems. Help students. Help students. Imagine new ideas. Imagine new ideas. Like learning about people. Like learning about people. Like working alone. Like working alone. Okay, so I filled these out as best as I could based on what we read here. Alright, and yours might be a little different from mine because some of these kind of overlap, but that's okay. I think if we get as close as possible, I think we'll be okay. Alright, so the first one is done for us. Computer programmers, right? And that's already done. Find answers to problems. Another phrase that I put down was like working alone. Okay. For teachers, I wrote help students and like learning about people. For architects, I wrote down design new homes and imagine new ideas. So that's what I've got for these 3 job descriptions. Okay? And hopefully we have something similar. Okay? Let's move on. Number 4, complete the sentences. Alright? Now before we complete these 7 sentences, let's look in our word bank and let's make sure we know how to pronounce these words. The first one is artist. Artist. The next word is creative. Creative. Next word is friendly. Friendly. Next word is intellectual. Intellectual. Next word is outgoing. Outgoing. Then we have personality. Personality. And the last word is type. Type. Okay? So now that we know know how to pronounce these words, and hopefully we will practice them, let's take some time to complete 1 through 7 using these words, right? And putting them in where they belong. Okay? And then we'll come back and I will show you what I have, and let's see if we match up. Alright? So let's do that. Let's pause the video now.